Hi everyone, I'm going to talk to you today about how we recycle clay and clean up after ourselves when we're done working. So as we were working, we had our canvas out on top of the table. We also had a bunch of tools out that we might be using. We have pieces that we might want to save to work on another day. And then we might also have some clay that we want to recycle so that it can be refreshed for a new day. So let's start with the recycling clay. Any extra clay scraps you have, little, big, they can all be recycled again as long as they don't have other objects in them. If you get pencil shavings in them, if you get paper, those are things you probably want to just throw away those scraps. But other than that, what you can do is you can take your ball of clay, and if there's other little pieces around, you can pick them all up by kind of pressing against it. And then I can take my clay over to one of our red buckets that we keep in the room. This is where we recycle the clay. And all you would do is open it and you'd put little pieces that are about an inch, maybe an inch and a half into that bucket. What we do at this point, once we all put them in there, is we take towels that we soak with water and we press that down onto the top of the recycled clay, the drier clay. It forces the moisture from the towel back into the clay. And then after about a day or two, we can take those off and then we can wedge up the clay and reuse it again. Some other important parts that you'll do with cleanup, so after you recycle your clay, your piece that you're working on, if you're saving that to work on another day, you would put it inside of plastic. And the amount that you close it depends on what you want to do with the piece. If you want it to stay exactly the same, you keep it wrapped really tightly. If you want it to get a little harder, you might leave some air. But you'd put it in a bag and then you go and put it on your class shelf. Other things that you'd have to clean up, we have our bin of tools. So you can put all of the tools back inside of the bin on top of your tray. If you have a slip container that's opened, you can close that back up and put it there. If your canvas has lots of little scraps on it, you can take that over and dump those scraps out. And then you just fold those back up and put them on the tray for the next table. So put it off to the side. Last thing, if you get dust all over, if you've made a mess on the table, not just on your canvas, we have a lot of these terry cloths over by the sinks. There's a clean rag bin and a dirty rag bin. You just take one of these terry cloths with a little bit of water on it, wipe off your area to make sure you get the dust, and then you can rinse it at the sink. And usually we can leave one or two at the sink for a few times, and then eventually we add it to the dirty bin. And that's it for cleanup and recycling.